Hello everyone, Irish Commander here, and after quite a long time, I'm here for an update. Now you guys are probably wondering, what have I been up to the past few months? And I've been quite busy with a lot of things, but more importantly, I've just recently got back into this game. Global War 1936. Now in version 4, it just completely blows my mind that it's gone through, let me see, when I first got into it, it was version 2. And then we had version 3 come out, and just when I was losing interest in the game, version 4 had just released. But earlier this year, I bought the version 4 map in the new size, or not the new size, the 4x8 size. So, while I am having a table built for it, from mixture of parts from the old table and parts that or scraps that I've been using from work, this tabletop right here being one of them. I make, well, I don't make these specifically, it's in my department though. I work on furniture for restaurants. Not really gonna name any in particular, but they made this and a couple others up as samples, so I thought, you know what, they're just gonna throw them away, so got permission to take them. Anyways, I am here to show you what I've been up to. So first off, let's get these two boxes in view. So, other than buying the map and replacing my Siam forces, I haven't done too much. I've only made 2 other orders for this game. The first one being the neutral roundels and a majority of my Soviet Union flags, which I have been converting over to flags, as you can tell by the massive amount of neutral nations we have. Only a few of them, not many. I'm only going to, out of all of these, I'm only going to be replacing Iran for the Persian flag that they used, and for Portugal, I'm going to be buying an alternate flag for their colonial possessions, because that is one of my things I've been wanting to do for this game, is for colonies to have separate flags for them. I think, actually over here, grab this real quick. You can see here, these are from a while ago when I wanted to test them out, or get a few and test them out. This is going to be representing my, generic British colonies, and then this is my generic French colonies. So, and I plan on adding Italy and the Netherlands in here as well. Maybe the Portuguese colonies will go in here. But, that's what these boxes are for, is for the colonial flags. I think Spain, I'm not really thinking about doing one for Spain, simply because they have their whole Civil War thing going on. So, yeah. The other order I did make, though, so let's move some stuff around so we got space to explore. Actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and show these off. So, one thing I've been focusing on is trying to update, quotation marks, update my nations. So that's like the flags and a couple other units I wanted to grab, but when I did, excuse me, when I did my updates for the Americans and the British, I decided to grab these 2 things because at work, My coworkers have been asking me about this game because I've been talking about it pretty much nonstop. And eventually we landed on the topic of German wonder weapons, or like weird things they built. And this is one of them. This is the Klake. I think that's how you say it. Some people say it was an anti-gravity device. Some people say it's a time machine. I want to go with time machine because that sounds crazier. So I decided to buy this. There's no real practical use for it, but I just wanted to have it. And then I also bought this. Now this may have a practical use in the future. This is the Ratte, forgive me if I said that wrong, tank that the Germans were going to build in 1942. This would have been the largest tank ever constructed, and just to put that in perspective here, let's open up the British box and grab one of theirs. And keep in mind, I only really have one tank mold for the tanks in general, so light armor, heavy armor, and medium tanks will all use this design. So put that next to the Ratte tank. Like, look at that. That is... Hold on. I think you could actually line up two of the British tanks here. Just about. So yeah, look at that. It's almost double the length of a British tank, which is absolutely insane. And in real life, it would have been way bigger, but for the purposes of this game, I believe it's been scaled down. But it's still massive, you know. And this thing wasn't built because simply it would have taken too many resources and too much fuel to keep running. But it's still pretty cool to think about. The largest tank that was never constructed. So, there's that box. Get that out of the way. So we can finally talk about the only other order I've done since my apparent disappearance from the community. So you can see, we'll talk about the Americans first. I went with the, well, I say I went with the 48 star flag, but it's really the only thing you could really use. I know some countries, like the Italians, the Germans, you could probably come up with some alternate symbol for them. Which, you know, is pretty reasonable if you don't want their fascist flags. But I feel like for the Allies and the Soviet Union especially, there's not really much you can use to substitute their flags. Which, you know, the flags, like I said earlier, is a major conversion that I've been wanting to do for a while. Which is really... Like, it's really nice to see the flags. I haven't had the chance to actually, like, lay them on the map yet, but actually having enough to do so is getting me excited to see how it is going to look. But I mentioned, other than flags, we are getting new units. Now, obviously, there's a lot of units in Global War 36, and I'd probably never ever be able to get all of them. So I just added 3 more to my game per major power. So this will be my American tank destroyer. Let's see if we can get that focus there. Come on. There we go. So you can see we got our tank destroyer. I don't think that's the actual mold for it, but this will be my tank destroyer for America. Now in here, I know this is a super heavy tank, but come on, focus. Well, is it gonna focus today? Yep. This will be my self-propelled artillery for America. And I only have 5 of those because I don't really think they'll be using that many. But it's nice to have. And finally, the last new unit I've introduced is the air transports. I know this probably isn't the air transport mold, but thought I'd have something at least. Oh, looks like somebody put a heavy bomber in the medium bomber section. Anyways, moving on to the British. So, I used the super heavy tank mold for my British tank destroyer because they actually had their own self-propelled artillery mold available. So, I guess, I could make it up and say that both the Americans and the British came up with a similar design to this, but they decided to use it for different purposes. One being a tank destroyer, one being self-propelled artillery. And this is my British air transport. I do think that this is a actual air transport piece. Not too sure because I did order this. I did make this order like 2 weeks ago. Which I do have my Axis order coming in. And funny thing, I was actually supposed to order up the French stuff, like their 4 or 3 pieces that they needed, or unit types, I suppose I should say. And the British box does not want to close. But I was also going to order their flags with it. However, they were out of stock. So I had to push their order back, but now they're back in stock. And I've already ordered my set for the Axis. So I decided, you know what? My stuff I'm going to buy for the Soviet Union is already going to be cheaper than if I had bought it with the flags. So since I already have the Soviet flags and just need the pieces and the build plates, I gotta show those off in a minute, which I'll grab those right now. But I thought it would have been a little bit easier, or not easier, but more efficient to go ahead and grab the French with the Soviet Union instead of doing it separately. Anyways, build plates. I almost forgot about these until I mentioned them just now. But this is my first set of them. Got a little bit of reflection there. And I gotta say, I like them. Made out of the same material, I believe, as the roundels, which I already really like. And, the fact that the flag colors are muted or faded, however you want to put it, that really helps with, I guess not really with these two, but I guess if you had a flag that was red and pieces that were red, that could help show them off a little better. And you're probably wondering, why is the KMT in here? Well, that's because I decided, since I only really needed one more set for these guys, and one more set for the Communist Chinese in their flag roundels, I thought I'll go ahead and get those along with the British and the Americans, and thought I'd grab their build plates while they're at it. There is one more thing that I wanted to get, but I couldn't because the Americans were out of stock. And I just wanted to get them all at once. But it's the new acrylic flags. You may have seen them on Historical Board Gaming, but I want to use those for my technology chart, my technology chart, my income chart, basically all the charts except for the victory point chart. So there's that. That will eventually be coming. But one more thing I wanted to show before I cut the camera is this. Have to. I would say I'd back up, but I'm in a little bit of a confined space right now, so can't really show it off in its full glory. But I've got two of these. These, I believe, are called command staffs. They're sold by, I forgot what company, but they're for a game called War Room, which is made by Larry Harris, the creator of Axis and Allies. And I decided, you know what, I'll pick up a set for Global War 36 because I really like actually having access to things that would have been used in the war. And I saw, I was going to say Panzer King, but Sky Marshal. I saw a while ago he got the War Room expansion, and it came with these. So I decided, you know what, I'll pick up a set for myself. And apparently these are sold by themselves now. So, you know, it was a lot cheaper. Which, not saying I wouldn't have gotten the expansion, but I certainly would have. I probably would have gotten it eventually, because I do intend on getting that game one day, along with trying to track down as many variants of Axis and Allies as I can, including, what was it, the 1982 version from New Zealand, which I do know got sold in the States a few times. Or not a few times, but I know it did get sold over here in the US. Anyways, I went off on a tangent there. So, in summary, I, Irish Commander, am still working on this game, and I certainly would have made an update sooner, like an unboxing of my previous two orders, but I kind of forgot I had a channel for this up until a few days ago, and then I was having issues with my lights, so I couldn't really record in the dark, so, but I finally got that fixed. So there will be an unboxing when the Axis set arrives, because I think I did throw one or two surprises in there. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think I did throw in a couple of little bonus surprises. I'm trying to remember, but you order so many things, you tend to forget what's in which order. But, you know, we'll find out here in a few days. Today is, let me see, what's today? Saturday. And the order is currently projected to be here by Monday. So I'll find out here in a few days whether or not I threw in those surprises or not. Anyways, until, I suppose it would be Monday, this is Irish Commander, signing off.